Welcome to The Soft Life with me, Candy Washington, where we explore all things self-love, manifestations, and relationships with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. So be sure to subscribe, share, and join us on Patreon. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington, and I am so grateful for this time that I have together with you. So before we dive into today's episode, don't forget to shop our Love collection, which is home decor and style items. Head over to candywashington.com to see what we have over there, and you can also just shop in the show notes or in the description box for mugs, candles, t-shirts, dresses, hoodies, all of the great things from our Love collection. And whether or not you're watching on YouTube or listening on one of our podcast platforms, be sure to like, rate, review, subscribe, and share. Yes, be sure to share, because your journey to self-love is always better with a little bit of support. So without further ado, let's dive into today's episode, which is the top 5 ways to heal after a breakup. Breakups suck. Let's just admit that. Even if you're the one breaking up with the person, or if you're the one that got broken up with, it's always not fun to have a relationship come to an end, to really have to mourn and grieve that relationship and mourn and grieve the potential of where you thought this could go, of that love lost. So I wanted to discuss, just some ways to heal after a breakup. And I think the first way is to definitely get some space from your ex, create some healthy boundaries. If you need to, mute them on social media, maybe, ask them not to text you or to call you. I'm not saying you need to block. I'm not saying you need to delete photos, but maybe hide the photos. Like, just get some space from you and your ex and some healthy boundaries. So you have time to breathe. You have time to grieve the relationship without being triggered by seeing a photo with them, or seeing a photo with them with someone else, or just doing anything, or being reminded of the relationship, seeing photos of when you guys were together, or having them text you, or having them call you, or wanting to come over for some late night, breakup, bow chicka bow wow time or whatever, right? Like, no, create those healthy boundaries. Don't sleep with your ex. Don't, engage with them on social media, have that space, even if you want to be friends. And I think that you can be friends with your exes. Like, I'm actually best friends with one of my exes, but I think but you need that healing transition time. Again, every situation is different. So if your situation is you can just go from being in a relationship to being instant friends, then great. But I think the majority of people need some time. You need time to redefine what the relationship looks like. You need time to mourn the relationship. You need time to heal. So give yourself that space. Give yourself that time. Create those healthy boundaries. Get some distance from your ex. The second way, which is one of my favorite ways, is to take a vacation, even if it's a staycation. Get out of your house, get out of your apartment, get out of where you've been, get out of the space that you shared with your ex. Go on a vacation, book an Airbnb, book a hotel for the weekend, whatever it is. Just get out of the space, get some new surroundings, take a road trip, whatever it is. Get out of that space where you have so many shared memories, or you just have that lived experience of being with that person. Get out of the space. Take a vacation, take a girls trip, go solo, whatever you want to do. Take a guy's trip if you're a guy, whatever it is. But take a vacation. Get out of that shared space. Maybe if looking at the bed reminds you of them, or the couch, or the TV, or things like that. Also, put the gifts away, or things that you got together away if they are triggering you. If every time you see a picture or a vase or whatever it is that they got you as a gift, or you got together, like, put it away. I'm not saying throw it away. I'm just saying maybe put it away until you're able to see it without being triggered. So take a vacation, get out of that space, and then also put away any of the triggers. The third is to have healthy, self-soothing coping mechanisms. So instead of drowning your sorrows in wine or booze or Haagen-Dazs ice cream or another warm body, instead of having sort of self-destructive ways to make yourself feel better because you're not really making yourself feel better. Those are ways to distract and to numb and to avoid the feelings. Find a way to make healthy coping skills. Maybe it's journaling your feelings, right? Maybe it's getting a new hobby. Maybe you've always wanted to paint. Maybe it's taking an art class. Maybe you've always wanted to write. Maybe it's taking a writing class. Maybe you've always wanted to travel. So maybe it's traveling somewhere. Maybe it's taking a cooking class. Maybe it's taking I don't know, whatever it is, skydiving, I don't know, anything like that. But maybe it's getting a new hobby or learning a new skill or meeting new people or trying something new that you can put your focus and your energy on rather than drinking away your sorrows or eating away your sorrows or sleeping away, with other people, your sorrows. I think sure, maybe one night you want to go out on a bender or you want to like eat some ice cream now, but I think it needs to be very isolated and very contained. You don't want to slip into depression, and you don't want to slip into very self-destructive habits or lifestyle in the name of getting over someone. You don't want to destroy your life. You don't want to take away the quality of your life just because a relationship didn't work out. Like, I promise you, you will find someone else. And even if you don't, you will be okay, but you still will. So you don't want a breakup to break you. So don't hit the bottle, don't hit the food or starve yourself. Some people go the other way. Some people lose a ton of weight, or whatever it is. Don't do anything that is self-destructive in the name of healing and getting over. Find healthy ways to cope. Maybe go to a breakup support group. Maybe, start a new hobby or learn something new. Maybe whatever it is, but do something that is in service of empowering you and of helping you heal and making you become a better version of yourself, rather than being in self-destructive habits and tendencies and lifestyle things, right? So get those healthy coping mechanisms. The fourth is take some time to be single, date yourself, and reconnect back to yourself. Sometimes you have those people that relationship hop. They're in one relationship one day, boom, they're in another relationship the next day, boom, they're in another one. You're like, whoa, like you're just hopping from relationship to relationship without taking that time to heal, grieve, and reflect, right? So take some time to reconnect back to yourself. Did you lose yourself in that relationship? Did you lose friends in that relationship? Did you lose family members in that relationship? Relationships come to an end for a reason. So take that time to date yourself, take yourself to the movies. What do you want to eat for dinner? What do you want to do on the weekends? How do you want to spend your night? What have you been putting off that you now want to do? Reconnect back to yourself. Be single, have some time all alone where it's just you. I think a lot of people skip this part. Again, they skip this part because they have the fear of being alone. They have the fear of their perceived stigma of having broken up with someone. So they think that in order to be accepted again or to be good enough again, that they have to have someone again. They don't feel that they are good enough just to stand on their own 2 feet. So they jump into other relationships in order to kind of avoid and to deny either the pain of the relationship or the shame that they feel for being single and having the relationship not work out. Some people think that relationship ending is a sign of failure, but I don't. It's just life. Relationships come and relationship goes. It doesn't mean that you are a failure or you failed at something. It just means this particular relationship has ran its course. But I think a lot of people feel ashamed when their relationships don't work out. And so instead of taking the time to work through that shame and get their confidence up and to work on their self-esteem and to work on their self-concept, they mask it in another relationship. So take that time to be single, work through all of those feelings. If you feel ashamed, if you feel embarrassed, if you feel like a failure, if you don't feel good enough, if you feel all of those things, take the time to heal and to work on yourself. And that brings us to the fifth thing. Talk to a therapist. Sure, you can talk to your friends, but at one point, your friends are going to be tired of you talking about this. And also your friends are your friends. Your friends are not a, licensed professional that can deal with this type of, loss, because a breakup is a loss. That's why you have to grieve and mourn a relationship. It is a loss. So talk to a professional, whether it's a counselor, whether it's a spiritual advisor, whether it's a life coach, whether it's a therapist, whoever you feel the most comfortable with. Go to someone and talk about it so that you can really be honest about what your experience was of who that person was in your relationship, and also get objective insights on who you were in that relationship, right? It's not always about the other person. Take that time, take the breakup as a time to reflect on yourself. How were you showing up? How do you want to show up in the future? What are the things that you can work on for yourself? What are the things that you loved about yourself in that relationship? And what are the things that you want to work on about yourself in that relationship? So that instead of just leaving a breakup feeling lost or empty, you can actually take away insights, wisdom, and guidance for how to become a better version of yourself for your next relationship. So you leave that baggage in the past and you don't drag it into your new relationship. So you're bringing wisdom and insights and discernment into your new relationship rather than your trauma, your wounding, and your baggage from your last one. But usually you need to work that out with someone. I think it's usually hard to be able to be so evolved that you just can instantly do it yourself. If you can, that's great. But I think generally you need an objective professional who can say, hey, well, were you being codependent? Were you at times being abusive? Were you at times not being honest? What was your communication style like, right? Because it's always easier to blame the other person for the breakup and to make them the villain, to make them the bad guy. But you were also an active participant in that breakup as well. So it's not about faulting yourself or blaming yourself or criticizing or judging yourself. It's about empowering yourself with self-awareness to say, this is how I showed up. These are the things I need to work on. And these are the things that I want to continue to do. It's about empowerment. It's not about judgment. But the only way you can empower yourself is when you are aware of yourself. And so that is what I would say for how to heal from a breakup. The first thing is take space from that person, create some healthy boundaries. The second is to take a vacation, get out of that lived space, put away the triggers. The third is to find healthy ways to cope instead of denying or avoiding or masking with alcohol or food or self-harm or sex. Find healthy ways to cope, right? A new hobby, a new community, lean on your friends for support. Find healthy ways, right? Get creative. And the fourth is be single for a bit. Take that time to reflect with yourself, to reconnect to yourself, to date to yourself, to get back to you. Take some time to breathe. Let there be a little bit of breath in between those relationships. And then the fifth is talk to a professional, whether it's a therapist, a life coach, spiritual advisor, whoever you trust. Of course, you go to your friends for support, but get an objective opinion so that you can get some wisdom and some insights and some discernment on how to be the best version of yourself moving forward. So you leave that baggage in the past and you bring wisdom and insights and a higher version of yourself into your next relationship. So if you found this to be helpful, please share, like, rate, review, subscribe. Any of your aha moments, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Candy Washington. Also tag me on Instagram at Candy Washington if you have a picture of you in our love collection, whether it's you with your mug or a new candle or a new hoodie or sweatshirt or t-shirt. Be sure to tag me at Candy Washington and I will repost you. I will retag you and I will give you a shout out. You can just head over to candywashington.com to pick up some goodies or just shop in the description box or the show notes. So there you have it. So until next time, everybody, be well. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself and each other. Bye. Ready to unlock your true potential and manifest the life of your dreams? Then I've got something super special just for you. Our mind-blowing self-love and manifestation courses. Picture this, a journey of self-discovery where you'll find a deep well of self-love and acceptance. Say goodbye to self-doubt and hello to unshakable confidence. Our courses are designed to help you embrace your worthiness and tap into the incredible power of self-love. But that's not all. We'll also dive deep into the transformative world of manifestations. You'll learn proven tools and techniques and strategies to align your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with your wildest dreams. So get ready to create the success, happiness, love, and abundance that you deserve. So what are you waiting for? Head over to candywashington.com/courses to get started. Again, that's candywashington.com/courses.